You're enjoying your adventures here in science and pop culture? Wonderful, excellent. Well, I'd like to introduce you today to Mr. Tom Wilson, singer, songwriter, actor, director, and artist. Welcome, Mr. Tom Wilson.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? There aren't enough cameras in the front row. You have to get closer, like this. How's it going, everybody? Really good to see you. Really good to see you, sir. Thanks. Please move back. You're crushing the people in front. Kids, move back. The band will be out in a second. Move back. Kids, I'm sorry. You coming late? You coming late? You went to the restroom? Now we have to start again. Sean, bring me up again. Bring me up. He has to introduce me. Look, this young man will not be cheated out of his time. Yeah! He's an international superstar. Bring me up. Don't pretend I'm off there.
What's your name, sir? Sir, what's your name? Ryan. Ryan, are you ready to meet Mr. Tom Wilson? Yes, yes, you are. Yes, everyone, yes!
I didn't mean to, but you know, whatever. How is everybody doing today?
Great.
How much time do we have, Sean? What is
50
this?
minutes.
50 minutes.
Yes, 5-0.
5-0. Unless you people tick me off and it's 15. And I pretend I didn't hear what he said.
Would you like a microphone?
Well, can you guys hear me? Yeah. I was at the Dallas. I'm very new to this Comic-Con thing. I don't really know how to do it. So if I stink at this, just ignore and say, he was having a bad day, I think. I'm not sure. But I was in Dallas, and I had a Q&A, a panel like this, and my panel was at the exact same time as Mark Hamill's panel was. Now, this might shock you. This might shock you. But Mark Hamill attracted more people in the audience than I did. What? Please, calm down. Please, calm yourselves. Do not rush the stage. So me being the goofball I am, I just went home and I wrote a little song. Let me sing a song on my tiny guitar. You've seen me in the movies, but I'm not a big star. I'm an almost big-time, moderate celebrity guy. How do you do to my adoring fans? Both of you. Now tell the rest who I am. I'm a big-time, moderate celebrity guy. Movie stars travel with a butler and a chef. I travel with a duffel bag with the photos that are left. I signed some autographs at the hotel bar. If you're interested, I still have those in my car. Hollywood can bring you fortune and fame. It can also bring you, hey, you, what's your name? Bring it on and sing a song, any part to help you get by. Every role I act, I get shot or punched. They beat me up all morning, but they serve a catered lunch, because I'm a kind of famous, almost recognizable celebrity guy. People see me in public, they point and they sing, hey, it's the dude from, what was it? The guy from that thing. They check their phone and they scratch their head, they say, wait a minute, I thought you were dead. I'm not dead, no. Actors have an aura, a charismatic glow. My aura features people yelling butthead and hello. Everywhere I go, it's always so, I'm not gonna lie. Well, life has surprises. You gotta rise above it. I'm a legendary icon, so Hollywood can shove it. I'm an almost big-time, moderate celebrity guy. Yeah! Last chord. Yeah! So these people doing video, it's Just give me a break. Don't look at each other like, man, that wasn't very good. I wrote it on a ukulele. Come on. I'll do one more song to bore you with in a second, but I just wanted to. I mean, isn't this is better for me than sitting up there with the microphone? I mean, is it okay with you guys?
Yeah.
And what are you doing, Sean? What are you doing? Sean, I'm a classically trained actor. I don't need your microphonic amplification.
Gonna walk right past you, sorry.
But I will use it in case nobody can hear me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me better now? Did that dude from Back to the Future really just play a ukulele? See? Now, wherever you are, people, wherever you go in your life, and you know these situations where you're uncomfortable, it's the end of an unusual family dinner, or you're in the hospital with a loved one, there's a lull in the conversation, everything comes to a halt. You can now say, one time I saw that dude from Back to the Future play ukulele, it was weird. And he hugged me, right, he hugged me. That hug was free. All others are available at my table. So people always ask questions. We'll do a little Q&A in a minute, but people want to know mostly about Back to the Future. They have other questions about other things, but mostly how did I get cast in Back to the Future? How did that happen? Right? A lot of people want to know that. And I was an actor in Los Angeles, and I was also doing stand-up comedy and acting. And I was doing, hey, look, I'm famous for one other thing other than Back to the Future. I introduced biscuits at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yes, national commercial, okay? No, not a regional thing, not just for the Georgia market. No, this was a national commercial where I introduced, hey, before me, people, you went to KFC? No biscuits. You're welcome. That's right. That's right. Yes, I was a young construction worker. Yeah, I was on the job site. I had a piece of chicken. I had a refreshing beverage. But something was missing. And then the jingle, fresh buttermilk biscuits made from scratch, boink. I had a biscuit! And the world changed. Again, you're welcome. But this movie, Back to the Future, coming out, Steven Spielberg's producing it, Robert Zemeckis is directing a big movie. I had done commercials. I was on The Facts of Life and Knight Rider as a guest star on the shows, but not a big movie like that. So my agent says, "Oh, you have to see this young man. Tom Wilson, you have to see him and let him audition." So I get the audition for this movie, Back to the Future. I go into the meeting. The casting director sitting there says, "Well, you're supposed to be God's gift to acting, so let's see this. Not pressure at all or anything." And I auditioned the first scene because it was they were very secretive about the movie. It wasn't scenes from the movie. It was sort of scenes that were taken, kind of the idea of Biff, the idea of George McFly, and beating him up and that kind of stuff. So I did the first scene. I read through it for the casting director, and she said, "That's pretty. Let me get Mike in here." And I auditioned for another casting director that was there, and then they called me back, and they called me back. And since that, before that time, and since that time, I've never been called back. They call it a call, I got a call back, which means, well, come back, we've thinned the number of people, and we want you to come back, and we'll look at it again. Since then, and before that, I have never been to more callbacks for an audition, because they kept calling me back, and back, and back. And now, we'd like you to do the scenes with Crispin Glover. Crispin, who played George McFly, and I were paired together from the very get-go, from the first. Because usually you'll go in and they'll say, "Oh, well, you do it with Bob, and let's see Tom do it with Frank," and this thing. They said, "Tom, do it with Crispin."
so we went outside, you know, to prepare this. How would this go? You know, we go out past some bushes, you know, okay, I go, you know, hey McFly, and he just, no, what is it, Biff? You know, and he changes into this character, and I stopped for a second, because I got bullied a lot in school. I wasn't a big athletic dude. I was bullied a lot. It was like looking at myself. I stopped, and I thought, like, well, first of all, I thought, if they don't hire this guy, they're crazy. Because, man, that is really good. That is really good. But again, I had done television shows and that sort of stuff. I really thought, maybe I get Biff, but probably I'd like to be one of his gang members. You know, because that seemed like a part that was, you know, that'd be okay for me. With that Match, 3D, whatever, those guys. And we went through the audition process. They put me in makeup, like old age makeup, to see how I might act as an older person and everything for the audition process. And then it became the last night of the audition. They said Steven Spielberg wants to see you at his office at Amblin Entertainment, and the heads of the studio are there, and Robert Zemeckis, and all of these people at a big conference table. I'd never been in an audition like that in my life. And that night, I had tickets to see Bruce Springsteen. And the audition was like about 6:30 at night, you know, after they were done their workday. So about 6:30, I go in there and, you know, hello, nice meeting everyone, hello. You know, this is the guy we're interested in for Biff. And so we did the scenes. We did the hello, anybody home, the knocking on the head, the pushing him around. And Robert Zemeckis, the director, took me and said, hey, Pal, I really want you to see, you know, be physical with him. I mean, really be a bully. Like, you're saying the word, but really kind of push him around and do something. So the next time, you know, what do? You go for it, right? You just throw caution to the wind and you take a shot. So I'm just knocking him on the head, have him in a headlock, dragging him around the room. At one point, when we fly, and I take him by his shirt, and I lift him up off the ground, and I'm lifting him into the air like this. You McFly, you Irish buck. And in the middle of doing all that physicality, I completely forgot all the lines of the scene. I totally forgot where I was, and he's in the air, you know? So I have him up there, and I stop. You know, you want to know, like, uncomfortable pause when a guy is in the air and you're holding him and you have no idea what to say next. So I put him down, you know, and I went like, okay, that's what I have prepared today. You know, I don't know what I said, but it's like that. That's all I got, man. And they said, well, thanks, Tom. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. Yeah, you go ahead. He said, oh, Crispin, could you stay here? I'm like, So that night in Los Angeles, California, Bruce Springsteen had a wonderful concert. You know, dancing in the dark, bum, 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 bum. There was a guy way up in section Q, like, my career is over. I didn't do well in the audition. What am I going to do now? And then the next morning, my agents called me and said, "Hey, you got the part of Biff in Back to the Future." So it was very exciting, very exciting. Yeah, a lot. That's my Get the Part story. And I'm doing a bunch of stuff now. Maybe you guys know, or IMDb me, but I'm still, you know, I'm in Training Day recently, and Doubt recently, playing lawyers. I'm in a show called PigGoatBananaCricket, the weirdest show I've ever been a part of, on Nickelodeon. My dream in life, like so many dreams, really, let's face it, all of us have dreamt of being a psychotic banana on a cartoon. Well, my dream, ladies and gentlemen, has come true. In PigGoatBananaCricket, I play banana. So I'm doing that, and also I have a whole new career plan for myself, because as you see, I'm dyeing my hair white for career reasons. You know? See, you have to go with the flow. I'm dyeing it for career reasons because, you know, there's a lot of work in Hollywood as old dude in a commercial. Okay? Old dude in a commercial, wait a minute. Old guy who hurts his back. Huh? Am I right? It looked like I was injured, did it not, sir? Yes. Come on, Sean, you got...
Stunning.
That's
absolutely
right.
stunning.
Right here. And I got my scooter at no cost to me.
Stupendous.
Am I right?
I was enraptured.
Right, old cowboy. And we can have those catheters delivered right to your house.
I believed you.
That's it.
I believed it was coming right to my house.
See, that's my new thing. Old commercial dude. I'm feeling much better. Now I take my drug for AFib. Some guy was always, this drug could kill you, this drug could make you depressed, this drug could do everything. Don't take this drug. Don't take it, it's dangerous for everyone. Nobody should take it except like one person. We don't even know why we made the commercial. But would it be okay if I sing that question song? Have you guys seen it on YouTube?
I'm going to leave this down here, and we can go back there and sit or something, Sean, when we do our thing. Then we'll do Q&A or whatever you guys want to do. Oops, 2 picks. All right. It's the multiplication of the picks on a ukulele. It's a miracle. Go ahead, take that home. Hey. Here, make sure he gets home safe with that pick.
Christian, that's your job.
That's right. When I'm flying in a plane or I'm on the street, there's a lot of friendly people that I like to meet. They shake my hand but never ask my name, and they start asking questions that are always the same. Hey, what's Michael J. Fox like? He's nice. What's Christopher Lloyd like? Kinda quiet. What's Crispin Glover like? Unusual. Stop asking me a question. I went to the bar mitzvah of my nephew Josh. I'm not Jewish, but I like to nosh. Put on my yarmulke, started to pray. When the rabbi leaned over and I heard him say, hey, was that real manure? No, it wasn't. I was a DeLorean, a piece of garbage. Do those hoverboards really fly? It's a movie. Question. Can we take your picture? Come on, look mean. Would you call my friend a butthead on his answering machine? No. Questions fill my head. I went to my doctor. My doctor said, hey Tom, what does a key grip do? Set up lights. What does the best boy do? Help the key grip. What does a producer do? I don't know. Still asking me the question. Do you all hang out together? No, we don't. How's Crispin Glover? Never talk to him. Back to the future for's not happening. Stop asking me the question. Hey, who's the nicest famous guy you know? Matt Damon. Who is the biggest jerk? Gary Busey. How much money do you make? More than you do. Stop asking me the question. There you go. It's hard to pose in a macho showbiz way with a ukulele. You know, it looks stupid no matter what. Hey, thank you. All right, we have chairs and everything. Thanks for letting me do my thing, Sean. Hey, a hand for Sean, huh? We're good. See, this thing, I never know, like, I haven't done this very much at all. I really haven't. I'm new to it. But I like, you know, being connected with people and everything. And we're still connected right now. But this thing always makes me feel like, you know, guy as panel.
Well, you know, working in the cinema as long as I have been, you know, it's a magical thing that happens when one is in front of the camera.
So I'm just...
We can sit right down there if you like.
No, I'm cool. We're good. I'm totally good.
Because, you know, we're in like Phil Donahue mode now up here.
Yes, we are. Yeah. So, anyone feel free. Just yell out, hey, liven this up, fellas.
So, you are an accomplished actor. You are a musician, as we've seen. You're also an artist, a painter as well.
I am.
And how did that come about?
Well, I'll go back even further than maybe any of you would like. But, you know, I'm the guy that stinks at math, you know, wasn't particularly interested in all those technological things, but was really good at the arts. Just, you know, and it took a long time, because being from Pennsylvania like I am, it doesn't, you know, when you're good in the plays, or when you enjoy looking at the visual arts, you know, you don't think about it as a career. You think, well, that's something that you do at school. And then you put away those things, and then you get a job at a company, whatever, like Dad. So it took a long time to really, to think about doing that professionally, to think about being an artist, really involved professionally in the arts. Because all my friends, you know, did other stuff, or, you know, my brothers were kind of jock guys and everything, and I did the unusual things, plays. But my parents enjoyed the arts. So I saw the Philadelphia Orchestra, conducted by Eugene Ormandy, this historic conductor in beautiful place, and went to the museums of art and things like that. So we were really introduced to all those things as a part of your life. But as I said, it didn't make sense to actually make it your life. But then I was in school, and I was really trying to be quote unquote normal. You know, I was trying to, okay, try time to, you know, kind of do that as a hobby and do something. And I couldn't, because I didn't have a particular skill set for that kind of life, you know. So I was drawn to the arts when I was older teenager, doing improv stuff and various experimental theaters and all of those things that were unusual and exciting and sort of new. I was involved with that, and that was really exciting to me. And I was as surprised as anybody, really, when, say, comedy or something, somebody would say, well, do you want to come with us to this thing in New Jersey, and, you know, we'll make $30 and a cheeseburger. I was like, we can get paid for this? For just doing, you know, just writing down weird stuff in a notebook and putting it up? Oh yeah, we'll go do this. So it just sort of organically began building, of performing live, of doing like painting, of just, I loved doing it, and I continued to do it, and just kind of working on it in order to make it, to work on my skills and take it seriously. You know?
Yeah, I've seen your art not only online and in different places. I actually saw it in Disneyland, of all places.
Yeah, I was selected to be a featured artist for Disneyland's 50th anniversary. So they commissioned me to do all kinds of specific paintings for Disneyland, for California Adventure. I had a solo exhibition at the Disney Gallery, and that was very exciting to me. I mean, you know, pinch me, because really, I really am like a regular guy from outside Philadelphia who just kept trying stuff, and you know, it did go, oh, it's fabulous, fantastic, but it kept like, oh, you can actually do that, and kind of keep going. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I've seen where, you know, as you were coming up and doing your comedy and theater, like there was a time when you were actually living in an apartment with Andrew Dice Clay, and
my first roommates in Hollywood were Andrew Dice Clay and Russian comedian Yakov Smirnoff. For a while, the comedian Sam Kinison was living there, but we kind of threw him out for profoundly unhealthy lifestyle issues. So, you know, so that didn't go well. But yeah, I lived with Andrew Clay and Yakov, and we lived in a house. We rented this house that's above the hill from the Comedy Store, which is on Sunset Boulevard. We were all comedians at the Comedy Store in the early 80s, that comedy boom. I was actually the bouncer there, the kind of doorman guy, when Richard Pryor was working on all of his live movies. This was before you would do an HBO special. This was kind of, you know, cable television was in its infancy. So Richard Pryor would work on an hour or an hour and a half of material, and then he would literally go to a theater and have it shot like a movie, and then edit it together as a performance video. And he would work on all of those sets at the Comedy Store every single night. So I would have a comedy set either before or after Mr. Pryor, but most of the night I was going up to tables of 8 big
African-American dudes saying, you guys are going to have to simmer down. Mr. Pryor's on stage, he's trying to work. Okay, so it was a fascinating time. And doing comedy with all of those people, with the history of comedy at the Comedy Store. You know? I remember Jim Carrey, kind of getting out of the car on Sunset Boulevard for Canada. You know, wow, look at this place.
And do you still perform?
I do, yeah, I perform all over the place. Yeah, I mean, I love stand-up. Stand-up comedy is one of the most democratic, fair art forms there is. Because you stand up there, and I mean, you know, in 1 minute, we know how it's going. Right? I mean, everybody knows, it's not a secret from anybody how it's going. It's absolutely right there, either it works or it doesn't, you know? And if it doesn't work, then you have to work on it harder the next time and come back, or you have to quit, you know? And that's what it is. So it's really, it is a high wire, no net, but I always found it very exciting, especially improvisation in front of a lot of people where you're not sure exactly where the show's going, but you're willing to go there with a trustful audience that's saying, we're not going to go with you the whole way if it really sticks, but we understand what's happening here, so we'll kind of participate in this improv with you. You know what I mean?
So in the evolution of your career, comedy has definitely been the center line.
It has been the center line because I was living in New York. Unlike a lot of comedians, I started as an actor. I was acting in New York, I was studying acting, I was ever so serious, you know, Mr. Intensity, theatrical.
You went to college in New York, correct?
I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York. I went to college in, so, you know, Mr. Intensity and everything. And, but I was also doing stand-up. I started doing stand-up with guys. And stand-up just, it was sort of mercenary at that time. Stand-up just paid money, you know, and I wasn't getting cast in any plays. I wanted to do plays in New York, and a couple of casting directors. I didn't take it well then, but you know, but I understand what they were saying. They were actually being nice to me because it was good. They said, "Listen, you know, at the end of an audition for some play," and I was very young, full of energy. It was like, "I think you're great. You know, clearly you're very talented at this. You're really good, but there's nothing for you here. Like there is not a part in this that you can play. You know, you're a big guy, you look like you just got off the farm in Nebraska, and you just, you know, their plays are not casting people like that right now. Maybe in the 40s you could be in Oklahoma, definitely, you know. That guy, there's a bright golden haze on the meadow, you know, but that just doesn't. But that wasn't, you know, so they were saying, move to California, where there's just plenty of work. Television commercials, TV shows, movies happen. All different types of stories where a character like you can actually work, can do something. So I moved to California, and, you know, like I said, I worked at the Comedy Store, and I was the doorman there, but it did start happening. Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, gum commercial. Boy, that's minty. Whatever. You know, that thing. I got, you know, during the 84 Olympics, I was in a hot chocolate commercial, you know, with my daughter in a chair. Just, delicious hot chocolate, you know, whatever. So I did that kind of stuff. And then fortunately, Back to the Future, yeah.
Well, and it's interesting that you say, you know, you look like you're fresh off the farm, because when you look at your list of roles, lieutenant, captain, sergeant.
I play cops, I play coaches, I play disgruntled dads. I play lieutenants now. You know, years ago I joked, oh my gosh, I'm gonna play young jock, professional jock, young coach, angry old coach, and then angry old coach's dad. But I mean, it's true. You know, look, you know, I'm 6'3". I weigh, what would you say, 170, 175?
Not even that much.
You know, 6'3", 170. You're not going to play ballerinas. You know, you're just, I mean, anyone, and I tell young men, young men who come and want my advice, what should I do, and of course, never quit, do it, follow the path, follow your dreams, but follow it wisely. And don't think that because you're a big dude, they're going to put you in a tuxedo, married to the pretty lady. You're not going to be married to the pretty lady in the show. You're married to a pretty lady in life, but in the show, you're going to be the guy that is trying to break them up, or the disgruntled guy in the car, or the boss from the office you're going to be some fulcrum point of the story, which is good, but you're not going to be pretty princess. That's from Michael J. Fox.
It's the crux of being a large mammal, I totally understand.
It's the crux of being a large mammal, yeah. I was a small guy. I was bullied around in school a lot, and I was that kid in sort of the summer before 11th grade, you just grow a lot. Jeans kick in. Mom, my bones are cracking. What's happening? And you go back to school as some hulk. You go, who's that? It's Wilson. It's not Wilson. No, make you pay. You have tortured me since the 2nd grade. I am now large and powerful. I have no idea how to use these limbs now. The big dude back there is nodding his head. Yeah. When I figure out how to use them with power, I will get you back.
I cropped this entirely. You're now also doing an extensive amount of voiceover work as well.
I am.
And disparate characters, everything from your SpongeBob to superheroes to supervillains. So how did that come about?
It really came about by me trying to get into voiceover and trying. It's a very closed society. It's very difficult because these people, it's not that it's insular, that it's a country club, oh, we're in, you're out. It's the fact is, honestly, that these people who do it professionally are so talented, so excellent at what they do, that when you get in a session with them, you actually go, oh, that's why they work all the time. They're really, really good. And it's very true. That's very true of voiceover artists. So I was trying, and I was trying, and I was trying. And honestly, the cartoon of Back to the Future just opened the door a crack for me. So I played many different. Back to the Future helped me, of course, because they would cast me as Biff in it, but also because in the Back to the Future cartoon, Biff was many different things. He was an alien guy, and he did various voices and different levels of guy, that kind of stuff. So that the directors, the producers say, oh, Tom he can actually do this. And so that opened up, and I started doing a lot of shows, Gargoyles, and all, a million different shows, SpongeBob, because I knew Steven Hillenburg, the creative SpongeBob, and I'd done a lot of Nickelodeon shows. So, I was a part of SpongeBob very early when they said, I didn't know what the show was, SpongeBob Squarepants. He said, pardon me? Yes, his name is SpongeBob Squarepants. He's a sponge. He wears square pants. Okay, fine.
It's right up there with a banana.
Yeah, and a banana finally. But these things, who knows what's going to hit? But SpongeBob has been absolutely unbelievable. So that is really fun. And SpongeBob was, because I have 4 kids, and sometimes you get a job where you get to go to the party where cool people are. I don't mean big movie stars. I mean the dude who plays SpongeBob for kids, So they would, Bill Fagabaki, who plays Patrick, wonderful friend, Tom Kenny, those guys from SpongeBob, they would have their kids there or a friend and say, hey, Tom, would you do the Back to the Future thing? My friend Nick is here. Would you like to hit him on the head, call him buddy? Hello, Nick, anybody home? What do you think? Oh, thanks, that was great. So this SpongeBob is huge. They're having a SpongeBob party for the end of the season. And I call the actors around, Patrick, and SpongeBob, and all these people, and say, hey, I've been Biff to every one of your friends. When my kids show up, you be SpongeBob until I say it's okay to stop. Yes, I give you permission to stop being SpongeBob. I did Biff for everybody you've ever met. So, but that was really fun.
Reciprocity is important.
Exactly, exactly.
We're going to take some questions. So we have a microphone over here and a microphone over here. And if folks want to step up and ask their questions, knowing that he answered a great many of them with his song, so those shouldn't be repeated. All right.
That song was a great help, though.
Robin, right there in the yellow cape, is first.
Yes, Robin.
Thank you.
Boy,
Thank you. They were not going to let me ask a question.
Well, now you're here asking. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I got 3 questions.
Let's do one first.
Just one, sir. Just one question.
Okay, how do you felt the Biff Tannen of an altered 1985 was often being compared to Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's we can solve this very easily, everybody. Thank you for your question, Rob. This is one of those blue pill, red pill kind of questions, If you want the blue pill, then I can tell you, everything you see on the internet is true.
Okay.
The red pill answer is it had nothing to do with it. And, the timings don't work out, and I never had any conversation like that. Donald Trump was never mentioned in anything, so it really has nothing to do with it. Of course, you see the comparisons and why people would go back. But we're talking about something that was shot in like 1989, before Donald Trump was really even a kind of the millionaire New York presence. You know what I mean? The older Biff was created before Donald Trump even fixed the Wallman rink in New York City, which kind of put him on that kind of New York Post map, you know what I mean? So the math doesn't work out and everything, but it's very, we all know our beautiful internet, don't we?
and people with time travel.
Yeah.
Let's have our question over here.
Hi, Tom. I was just wondering, who did you look up to when you were doing stand-up? I know you mentioned Richard Pryor, but what other comedians influenced you?
Well, 2 people really that I saw. One that I saw when I was in college. I was a big Steve Martin fan. And, being a guy in the theater and doing plays and everything, it seemed like he was just creating these entire bits. Like, not just a joke about, I came on the train today, that was, no, he just did entire unusual, absurdist pieces, And I really enjoyed that. And I saw him in college. When I was in college, I saw him at the height of everything. 2,000 seats, everyone going berserk over one guy in a white suit with a banjo. And it was thrilling to see the show because I loved the show, but it was also an incredible lesson in what the media can do, and being on the Tonight Show, but what that kind of power of personality, projecting that off the stage, you can actually entertain 2,000 people as a single person. If they're buying into it, if they're there really to enjoy it, to do that. So Steve Martin was very, very big and influential. Then when I came to Los Angeles, as I said, I started working, and Richard Pryor, who would, a different style of comedy, but Richard Pryor would mine his own life for stories and try to come up with humor in even tragic stories, even troubling stories, even stories of poverty, of real lack in his life, and make stories out of that and work on it. And he came there, he was a millionaire, movie star, and he came to the Comedy Store every single night. Like making an arrow, shaving a plane of wood off of the joke, so that it just got more and more, funnier and funnier, less words, more joke, until, a few months later, you say, oh my goodness, the guy is doing an hour now of everyone falling on the floor. And it began with, and I watched it began with Richard Pryor, who gets that sort of, the big, Richard Pryor, oh my gosh, the big applause. But at the middle of the show, he's not getting a lot of laughs because the stories aren't that funny yet. But the audience is willing to say, we understand what you're doing. We've come to this place, not the big theater, we've come to this little place to see you in your process and to sort of respect it and help you out and help you build the jokes. So that was really a great lesson to me in all kinds of things, in using your own life as material, in being unafraid of sharing things about your life, and never giving up on material, always mining it, trying to make it better and better and better, as it can always be better. Like rewriting, novelists or whatever, it's rewriting. It's doing it again and finding ways to do it a little bit better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Those are two guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Tom. I saw you at the Comedy Store in the early 80s.
Wow.
Sam Kinison brought me.
Good for you.
Yeah, I was like 19. And
Hey, you survived, buddy. Way to go.
barely.
Yeah.
That is my question for you. Memories of Sam Kinison.
Sam and I will say, we finally got along okay. Finally. There were, I'll be honest with you, and at first, we got along. But as you know, as I joked about, Sam was making relatively profound, unhealthy lifestyle choices. That's not what I was into. That's not what I was into. I don't judge anybody, and it's Hollywood. I mean, I've seen many things, and you can live your life the way. But Sam and I, unfortunately, got to be sort of known as the polar opposites at the Comedy Store. Oh, I was like the Boy Scout, Mr. America, whatever, goody two-shoes, whatever it was. Because I was just there to do a show, to write material, to do a show, and then to go out at night and maybe have a club sandwich with my friends, and say, like, isn't this cool? As you know, Sam did other things after the show. So it came to sort of a head, where it got a little sketchy between us. We faced off a couple of times backstage at the Comedy Store. There are many stories about it. It's now folklore. When I did the David Letterman show, and you're on David Letterman, with a suit and everything, and the commercial break, David Letterman leans over and goes, "Hey man, what's the deal with you and Kinison, man?" What? So yes, we squared off quite severely, but as I said, no fists were thrown, and finally it was okay. Finally it came to like, okay, I understand. You live your life, I live my life, and that's okay. I will say to young people here, and I'm not crowing about this at all, but as you know, sir, of the people that made those kinds of decisions with their lives in the 80s and the 90s, so few of them are around to talk about it. That's a very sad thing, So a lot of those guys are not here. That's enough said about that. Does that make sense, everybody?
Hey, Tom.
Hello.
I was wondering, what's your favorite movie, and also, do you like Seinfeld? That's basically one question.
Well, like Jerry as a person, as a comedian, or the show?
The show.
The show, I like the show. I like the show. I mean, I love that. We go back to Steve Martin, physical comedy or things. I mean, Michael Richards was so brilliant on Seinfeld that he got credit. Okay, you're the star of a big TV show. But I don't really think he got enough credit for doing the brilliant physical pieces that he would do, coming up with a different, funny way just to open a door and come in the room, I mean, it seems like, oh, he just comes in the room. Comedians think about those kinds of things. Like, in what physical way will I do it? I mean, do you remember when Michael Richards modeled underwear? It was a men's underwear model. And he just walks in slowly with that. I mean, it's hysterical. And he's doing that kind of thing. And then he finally leaves, and the office has a curved wall. And of course, the end of the bit has to be, like, he leans against the wall, it's a curved wall, and he goes to the floor. I mean, it's brilliant comedy. So yeah, so I loved it. What was your other question? I'm sorry.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movies, there's so many of them.
I love pick one, though.
I'm going to pick one. It's tough. It's really tough. You're going to think I'm crazy. You're really going to think I'm crazy. I love the movie My Dinner with Andre. Stupendous movie. And if it comes on cable, whatever, station 1792, that's the movie I stop on. I love the movie. Because it's a script. It's two friends, of different positions in life, of different paths. Their paths went one way or the other, but it's an honest and interesting conversation between two characters. So I recommend, if you haven't seen it, try that movie.
An excellent vehicle for Wallace Shawn.
Absolutely.
He was stupendous.
Wallace Shawn and the theater director Andre Gregory doing a conversation. Anyway, but my favorite movie, you know what? In Field of Dreams, the first time you see it, you have no idea what's going to happen. And that's the thing about a great movie for me, and why I thought it was so good. Because now, I mean, of course, movies are good, and this one's bad, and that was less good, and that was okay. But we can admit to each other, a lot of them, we already know what's going to happen. And we know how it's going to end. You know, and we know the hero's everything's going to be okay. And there's going to be a big fight. And today we know that robots are going to attack the Earth and eventually explode. You know? But in that movie, the entire movie, you're just hypnotized. Like, what is this? Like, what's happening? What is this story? And then I know for the ladies, not so much, but then the dad thing, you know, it all comes together and it turns out it's his dad, and then all dudes are like, am I right? I mean, you know, my friend Ned saw the movie, and he says, you know, and we're dudes, you know, you have to see this movie. I mean, I don't even know why. I mean, I never cried at anything. I cried at the end of this movie. I mean, it affected me. So I just tell my wife, we got to see this Field of Dreams. She literally turns to me, you know, at the end of the movie, kind of like, what did Ned see in it? I mean, I don't. She's like, what happened? What happened? I missed the meaning of the movie. What is it? It's his dad. It's his dad.
Thank you. Hi, Tom. Just first off, thank you for all your work you did in action feature movies. I can't wait until my 3-year-old son actually watches those movies when he grows up. Quick question I have. So, between the 3 movies, did you ever take props up the set? And if you did, which one is your favorite?
By the 3rd movie, every prop was disappearing at such a rate. I wasn't taking them, you know, I wasn't taking them. But they said, they were putting a pair of pants on me, you know, these custom-made pants. And the costume designer, no, Tom, please be very careful with these pants, but this is the last pair we have. We're making them, you made 18 of them. We custom made them because it's a movie costume. Well, they've just disappeared. All of them have disappeared. So, once everyone knew, you know, oh, sequels, and this is really going to be big, then just keep an eye on everything, because stuff vanishes left and right. So I got like way less stuff than everybody thinks. Way less. I mean, people come up to me and did things, you know, would you sign this? Like, how'd you get this?
Tom Wilson in the traveling pants.
My pants! But that was it. So I got a few things. What the filmmakers did was, you know, a guy came up to me at some show or comedy works or something, and said, sir, you know, I do a movie memorabilia and I collect that, and you know what the mystery is? Just no one knows where the big portrait of you in the office at the casino is. The door that Biff opened, the gigantic portrait of Biff, that's a door that had the safe with the sports almanac. I go, oh, that's in my house. So I have that. So they gave me that, and a couple of other things that are really like sort of mementos to me, but not, you know, I don't have much cool stuff. Although I'm thinking of renting myself just to hang in people's houses. Thank you.
Hi, Tom. My name is Andrew.
Hello, Andrew.
I am very impressed with your video short, Pop Feud. It really meant a lot. It's very philosophical.
Thank you.
And My question is basically, what makes you happy in life, and what would you like to be known for in your career?
Honestly, I would like to be known in my career as a professional who was kind to everyone I worked with, you know, who made good relationships, who made friends with the people I worked with, and, you know, who was a good man and example to my kids, and how I hope that they live their lives. That's the way my dad lived his life, and that's the way my mom lived her life. So that's what I want to be. I've had the opportunity to do a very interesting thing in life, a thing that people really don't get to do very much, or a lot of them try and don't get them. And I'm not, you know, I joked about it in the song, but I'm not Mark Hamill. I'm not one of those big guys. But I'm very proud of having done a very long and accomplished career, doing well professionally, doing a great job, but also making great relationships with people, you know, and doing it the right way, I hope, and I really hope I have, and I think I have. So that's the most important thing to me. And there are, of course, thrills in there, of course. Of course, it's really cool to have a job where you get to go to work and watch stuff blow up. You know, who doesn't want to do that? I was in a movie, Andersonville, where I played a prisoner in the Civil War, the Andersonville prison. And my dad, it was sort of the end of my dad's life, and my dad was a history buff. And my great-great-grandfather was, he was a Union Army soldier in the Civil War. He was captured, like my character was. He spent time at the Andersonville prison in Georgia at the end of the Civil War, and I got to play a person like that. That meant a lot, you know, to my dad, watching it, being a part of it, of the history of the family history, getting to talk about it with his friends. So that meant a lot to me. And those are the ones that really strike me, you know? Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Hi, sorry. Massive fan of Back to the Future. I actually remember the cartoon. I did watch that when I was growing up.
I've got VHS copies in my car.
So my question to you was, over the course of 3 movies, and the notion of time travel and the fact that in this story, every instance of a character, regardless of the generation, was played by the same actor. You got to play something like 6 different Biffs.
Right.
So my question to you was, did you approach each of those Biffs differently? Were there backstories that were given to you or that you filled in so you could kind of assume where that Biff was?
I did. It's I think too involved to get into today for you, but I'll try, you know. The different Biffs, I had different highlighter colors, okay? I took the entire script and I put it onto like 4x6 index cards that were coded by character, movie, trying myself, because I'm not technologically minded, you know? So early on, I think I have to figure out a way to keep this stuff straight. So it was really sort of color coding, taking it off of a page, which is sort of, I don't know, it looked like mishmash, and putting it onto cards that I could say, this is scene 37B of that thing, that kind of thing. As a performance aspect, I thought, how can you really change when, I mean, I'm the guy, you know what I mean? How can we change Griff? How can I do Mad Dog? And I thought just in physical stance, the way I walk, and in the way I carry my face. But how do you move your face? I move my jaw. Mad Dog Tannen has a jaw like this. Okay? He's just so lazy he can't even close his mouth. You know, so just a slack jaw thing. And then, you know, and just lead like you're a gunslinger, so you just have this kind of, you know, that kind of thing. And I watched other movies. Lee Marvin's performance in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, you know, meant a lot to me. You know, that's where that whole, you thought wrong dude. That was the first dude when he called Jimmy Stewart a dude. What's the matter with you, dude? And so I got a lot of that. I mean, Griff. It's too long a story, but Griff, we just came up with that idea that he just moves like this, like because in the future there are operations, but it was a new operation, so he has kind of a electrical pulse going through his spine. You know, they saved his life when he was born, and he's just like, you know, that just a weird thing. And voice like that, you know, because it was the future. Who knows how people are in the future? You have to make something up. Does that make sense? It does. And then Biff was like just, you know, that higher register of my voice, because I have a low register. But Fly, what are you looking at, butthead? You know, like up to the top of my head. Yeah, thank you, you're welcome. Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Hi, so Back to the Future has been really inspirational for a lot of people over the years, but I wonder what inspires you, like as a painter, for instance?
As a painter, what inspires me? Well, I think you mentioned the I Am Pop Art video. You guys can check it out on YouTube whenever, you know, later tonight or something. It's called I Am Pop Art, and those are the recent paintings that I did. I'll talk about those, but what inspires me is sharing a part of myself, like all artists. What you're trying to do in a play, in a painting, in a song, in the arts, is just saying, hey everybody, guess what? I'm a human being just like you. Just like you. And there are things that are, you know, different about each and every one of us, but a lot of stuff's the same. You know? A lot of stuff's the same, and I know a lot of stuff has happened to you, and a lot of stuff has happened to me. So we can, you know, come together and share something in a different way. Like I said, in a way of painting. You know, a painting to me is kind of like an instant play. You know, you just have to look for a while. You have to listen harder. All the words aren't up there. You have to look and think about it. So that's what I like about it, you know. And this new paintings that I did a lot of paintings that are based in the pop art movement of the late 50s, early 60s. Because I thought, everyone was asking me, I wasn't here last year. 30th anniversary of Back to the Future. The impression was great. I was getting calls from everyone, New York Times. What do you think about it? What do you say about it? What do you have? What's your statement about it? What's the thing? Is Donald Trump and all this stuff? I didn't say anything to anybody because honestly I didn't know what to say. What do you say? So if I was going to do it, I thought, how will I? So I said, I'll make paintings. You know, I'm a person, a human being, who in a sense was raised within pop culture, watched it grow, you know, enjoyed it, celebrated it, but also was eaten by that pop culture, you know, in that way that we know, the way that it can chew you up and spit you out. So I felt both sides of it, you know. So I made a lot of paintings in the style of the first pop artists, Andy Warhol, Roy Lichtenstein, Jasper Johns, all the early collage artists, in order to just say, my statement is, it's wonderful. It's a tremendous thing. I love the movies, you know. I think they're great. But also, I'm a person, you know, and I had an experience through my personal experience in these movies that I would also like to share with you. Does that make sense?
That was fabulous, thank you. We have one more question over here, and then we're going to have to wrap things up, sir.
All right, and then I'm doing that crowd floating thing where you feel like
All right, hopefully one quick anecdote from something completely non-film related. A story from being involved in the Wing Commander video games, playing top Maniac Marshall.
I was Maniac in Wing Commander. So they want me to do this thing, and yeah, Mark Hamill was in it, Malcolm McDowell, and everything. This is the earliest, this is the first sort of live action computer video game experience that people have, the first one. So we get offered to do this job. It's sort of a movie and whatever, and the script is this thick. And honestly, we kind of showed up on the set not understanding even what we were working on. You know? Like, what is this really? Well, the player, not the viewer, not the audience member, the player watches the story, and depending on what they decide, the scene changes. So you have to memorize the scene where the girl likes you and you make a date with her, the girl ignores you totally, the girl slaps you because she's insulted. You know, you have to do all of these different scenes. So it's a very unusual thing to be part of at first. But, you know, Mark is a great guy. Mark, I mean, talk about me with Biff and Back to the Future. I mean, Mark has handled that with class and dignity and good humor and everything. He's a terrific guy, and we had a ball. John Rhys Davies, terrific, Malcolm McDowell. So it was really interesting to be a part of a technology that honestly was so technological, I sure didn't understand what we were doing.
I had to buy a whole new computer to be able to play it.
Exactly. They keep giving me the game. Oh, you should play it, really, it's fun. I'm like, I don't even know how to start it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us.
Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.